On June 16, 2022, comic book artist Tim Sale passed away at age 66. He leaves behind an amazing body of work, primarily his long set of collaborations with writer Jeff Loeb. At DC, they produced The Challengers of the Unknown, A Superman for All Seasons, and multiple Batman stories, while at Marvel, they did the Color series, miniseries focused on the early days of superheroes like Spider-Man Blue, the Hulk Gray, Daredevil Yellow, and Captain America White. Tim also contributed artwork to the TV show Heroes. However, Tim is probably best known for his work with Jeff Loeb on Batman: The Long Halloween. Tim Sale leaves behind a unique style and a body of work that will stand on its own for a very long time.
Welcome back to Comic Book Issues. I'm your host, Brian Heinz. I only got to meet Tim Sale once. It was at the Chicago Comic Convention C2E2. I got a few books signed, and he seemed genuinely surprised and humbled when I told him that The Long Halloween is my favorite Batman story. But if you haven't read it, what is The Long Halloween?
A 12-issue series, Batman: The Long Halloween, is a year one, or origin story, showing how the mob eventually loses control of Gotham to the supervillains, as Batman forms alliances with a young police captain James Gordon and district attorney Harvey Dent. All as Batman hunts Holiday, a serial killer who only kills people on holidays. The book is widely regarded as one of the best Batman stories and was followed up by a sequel, Dark Victory, which in turn had a spin-off, Catwoman, when in Rome.
And so, if we have to say goodbye, let's do it like we always do on the show, by having a little fun and taking a thorough look at what I believe to be is Tim Sale's final comic book story. And it just happens to be a new chapter of his most famous work. In order to celebrate the 25th anniversary of The Long Halloween, this story, written by Jeff Loeb and drawn by the late Tim Sale, is 2021's Batman: The Long Halloween Special.
The Long Halloween Special opens with a pan across a board full of details about Harvey and Gilda Dent. It's 3 weeks before Halloween. In the darkness, a young woman is running from an institute for the criminally insane and towards a docked rowboat. 2 weeks before Halloween, a store is robbed, the same store where Martha Wayne once bought the pearls she was wearing on the night of her murder. The Calendar Man has sent his henchmen to rob the store, but they only find Batman in the vault. And he only has one question they need to answer.
Alright, I've only got one question, and you're going to answer it. And if I don't like that answer, tell me who? Who wrote the Book of Love? No, it's how. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? 1, 2, 3. No. Sorry, another question I have is, who are you? Who? Okay, I have several thousand questions now that I think about it, all of varying pop culture accessibility. Look, I'm just wasting your time right now. Let me write some of these down, and we'll catch up later. Cool.
The question? Where's Julian Day, the Calendar Man? The man who commits his crimes based on the calendar. As he lays into the henchmen, he's realized the gems being stolen from Gotham are all birthstones. Afterwards, Batman meets up with Commissioner Gordon. The henchmen wouldn't or couldn't give up Day. He'll trail them later to see if they lead him back to Calendar Man. Halloween's are rough for Jim. He's afraid that another round of holiday murders will begin, and he misses the camaraderie that he and Batman had with Harvey Dent. Batman harbors no such illusions. He believes that Two-Face was always simmering underneath the surface. Their friendships were a lie. Gordon, somewhat sheepishly, asks if his daughter Barbara could go trick-or-treating with Batman's new partner, Robin. But Batman has already disappeared. In the sewers, someone comes up upon Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday. They're a lot alike. They both want to protect the occupant behind that door. Inside, Harvey Dent is shocked to see that the visitor is none other than his long-missing wife, Gilda. Why? He wants to know why would she return to him when he looks like this. But to her, Harvey is perfect.
Gilda, you don't understand.
Harvey, to me, you're perfect.
I had plastic surgery and I now look like D-list internet reviewer Brian Heinz.
No!
As Batman tries to unravel the nature of these gemstone heists, Alfred suggests splitting the work up, but Batman feels Robin is not ready yet, even as the fully costumed Boy Wonder watches from the top of the Batcave. In Crime Alley, in an abandoned church, the acolytes of the Calendar Man chant his prayers, but he quickly disposes of the two men, May and June, who botched the earlier robbery. However, he realizes he can replace them both with one, a true Gemini. Back at the Dent's old house, Harvey and Gilda have moved back in. Harvey bought out the old occupants and they're spending Halloween together. He's naturally jumpy when there's a knock at the door, but Gilda answers, candy bowl in hand, only to find the Calendar Man. As Gordon heads out to take Barbara trick-or-treating, he's shocked to find Batman there with Robin. Barbara, in her homemade Batgirl outfit, and Robin hit it off immediately.
So, your guy make you wear booty shorts and fight in a brightly colored costume made by his butler while he stays safe in the shadows in his dark costume that makes him practically invisible to the people with guns? My guy? You mean my dad? No, I made this costume, and it covers up my body in a safe and respectable way. Cool. Want to make out? Okay. I'm Dick Grayson. I don't even have to try!
A half-broken bat signal lights up the sky. Calendar Man has Gilda. He's got until midnight to join his cult or she dies. Batman is hesitant. He asks, why did they take Gilda if it's Harvey they want? He demands Harvey tell him the truth if he ever wants them to work together again. The coin is flipped. Robin, seeing the bat signal, makes his exit, leaving his candy behind for Babs. In a confessional, the Calendar Man interrogates Gilda. Two-Face, now tattooed and bald, bursts in. Where's Gilda? Julian Day reminds him that he doesn't get her before midnight. A red diamond, the rarest birthstone yet, is the final target of the Calendar Man. They break into the Gotham Museum the final night it's being displayed, Halloween. But Harvey says now, and Robin flies in, swooping up the diamond and kicking Day. Harvey then removes a rubber mask, revealing Batman.
Oh, we should have known. That's a standard Spirit Halloween bisected man in a calendar cult rubber mask. Dime a dozen. Also, there's a price sticker on the back of the head. I don't...
Two-Face and Grundy burst into Calendar Man's headquarters, shoving the pews into the cult members. Brandishing a gun, Two-Face demands to know where his wife is. The henchman points to a confessional, and now Harvey has no further use for him. He rescues his wife, but there's a booby trap. Ye old bundle of dynamite. Grundy grabs the bomb, runs out of the building, and a moment later there's a Grundy-sized hole in the street. Julian Day is bitter. He could smell the money coming off of Batman with all his gadgets and tech. He grew up homeless and poor until crime changed all that. Every day is his holiday. He fires a few shots into Batman, who for once is grateful that Alfred has him wear Kevlar under his suit. He then beats the Calendar Man so hard blood is dripping off his knuckles. Robin is surprised to learn Calendar Man is an orphan. Like him. Like Bruce. But that doesn't give any of them the right to break the law. That's something Dick Grayson is learning. As they leave Gotham, Harvey ponders Batman and Robin. There are two of them now. But Gilda reminds him that they are two as well. Hopefully the stronger pair. As Halloween ends, Batman meets with Gordon. Jim seems convinced that with Gilda back, it might bring Harvey back to them. But Batman is far more cynical. Gilda is obsessed with Harvey. She doesn't even see Two-Face, and that makes them both dangerous. As Batman swings away, he contemplates why the Calendar Man was after Gilda, how he was able to blackmail Two-Face, and he now wonders if he too fully understands the secret of the dents.
That secret being that they're into two-play. It's like four-play, but only half as good. No, I'm kidding. At least I hope I am. This ending is a reference to Gilda's revelation at the end of The Long Halloween, which is something I won't ruin for you here, but please, go read it. Like I've said multiple times, it's my favorite Batman story. But is this, a last-minute epilogue/new chapter, any good at all? Does it hold up to the original work, or does it compare to any of Loeb and Sale's previous works? Let's take a closer look at the Batman The Long Halloween special.
The long overdue focus of this book is Gilda Dent, a small, minor character who for the longest time was lost to DC continuity. Heck, even in Two-Face's origin episode of Batman the Animated Series, he doesn't have a wife, but rather a fiancée, Grace Lamont. After The Long Halloween, Gilda's identity and location was a subplot for the sequel Dark Victory, but was never fully resolved. Although, Loeb and Sale give us a hint when a familiar woman named Grace, remember that name, appeared in their Marvel Comics series Daredevil Yellow, desperate to keep herself from being blackmailed over questionable actions she took to protect her husband. But that out-of-continuity appearance aside, she's been missing for a long time. The special finally brings her back and allows us to address her relationship with Harvey and, to a lesser extent, Two-Face. She's delusional. So in love with Harvey Dent, or perhaps the ideal version of Harvey Dent, that she doesn't see Two-Face, literally or figuratively. He's her hero. She crossed lines in the original Long Halloween to give them the life she thought they deserved. Here, she willingly pairs with an unbalanced killer, and while you can argue she has a positive effect on him, it's still not what you'd call a healthy relationship. I can't say Calendar Man is a favorite of mine. He's mostly used in the Loeb Sale stories for sour grapes. Upset his holiday killing methodology is being overshadowed by the holiday killer. Desperate to regain his mystique, he forms a cult of personality around himself. But the problem with the Calendar Man, which I feel Loeb and Sale recognize, is he's just not that interesting of a villain. The Long Halloween universe always focused heavily on the Batman, Harvey Dent, Commissioner Gordon relationship. With Dent removed, we get some time with Batman and Gordon to pause and reflect on what that means. Gordon is sad. Batman is bitter. Neither really ready to acknowledge the other's point of view. To Batman, Harvey Dent was always a time bomb waiting to go off. To Gordon, a good man who lost his way in a city that claims too many good men. As for the rest of the cast, they're a bit underwritten. Barbara's just there for an excuse to do the trick-or-treating sequence. Robin is still trying to find his way in this strange new world and trying to earn Batman's approval, and somewhat earns it throughout the course of this story, but never vocalizes his desire. That job falls to Alfred. And Two-Face? He's surprisingly sane. More interested in playing house with Gilda and rescuing her. Solomon Grundy is just a prop for destruction. If this special has a flaw, it's that so many characters have little to do, but I'd like to think we would have gotten more Long Halloween specials. That those new specials might have further expanded on Gilda's return and what it meant for Harvey Dent and Gotham's underworld. Sadly, if Jeff Loeb continues to do more stories, he'll have to do so without Tim Sale's art. And as for the art, well, it's perfect. Tim was at the top of his game. Settled into his wonderful, over-stylized, flat, two-dimensional technique. A look that I don't think I've ever seen imitated, but that I've no doubt is influencing a coming generation of artists. Giant bat ears. Grotesque zombie men. Burned-off, half-faced victims, all against the wonderful color palette provided by Brendan Wagner. It's somewhat ironic that the colors suit Sale's art so much. He was actually colorblind and thus could probably never appreciate how much they helped his own look. By the time they got to this special, the team of Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale knew how to tell a good story. They'd done so over multiple collaborations over the last 25 years. The only true shame here is that they'll never do it again.
It's clear that throughout their partnership, Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale knew how to tell a good story. And while this may not have lived up to every single collective moment of the 30 issues set in the Long Halloween continuity, it's still a welcome return to form and a fine way to say goodbye to a legendary artist. I give Batman The Long Halloween 4 out of 5 stars. My friends, thank you for joining me today. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and please check out my Patreon page. And, knowing that my audience can no longer sanction my buffoonery, we'll see you back here next time for the next review. Until then, this has been Comic Book Issues, and I'm your host, Brian Heinz.